Hello, and welcome to the Expression of Interest information session for the Mining Decarbonization Demonstration Call. This session is presented by Natural Resources Canada's Office of Energy Research and Development. Today's agenda includes an overview of the call and eligibility, how you can apply, a walkthrough of the Expression of Interest application form, and please note we've included the program mailbox on this slide. If at any point during program intake you have any questions, please contact this mailbox and we'll be happy to answer your questions to the best of our ability. We will show this email again later in the presentation, and it is readily available throughout the applicant guide and program landing page. To begin, we will walk through the context and key objectives for Mining Decarbonization Demonstration Call. This call was launched to support innovative demonstration projects that advance energy decarbonization in Canada's mining sector to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in upstream and midstream operations. While the mining sector is a major contributor to the national economy and provides critical inputs for the clean technology value chain, it is also a source of hard-to-abate greenhouse gas emissions. The development of sustainable mineral supply chains requires the wide-scale adoption of mature decarbonization solutions, as well as the commercialization of novel decarbonization technologies that are suitable to the mining sector's unique assets and processes. As such, continued investment in demonstration activities is critical to support the scaling and commercialization of these innovative technologies. All projects that will be funded through the Mining Decarbonization Demonstration Call must address the call objectives, which are to de-risk and accelerate the adoption of innovative technologies in Canada's mining sector that reduce upstream and midstream operational emissions, advance the commercialization of clean technology solutions to position Canadian innovators as global leaders in mining sector decarbonization, and to foster collaboration between clean technology developers and owners and/or operators of mining, milling, and/or smelting assets in Canada. We will now review core eligibility criteria for this call. On the screen is a list of eligible recipients, which includes legal entities validly incorporated or registered in Canada, provincial, territorial, regional, and municipal governments, and Indigenous groups and entities. Please be sure to refer to Section 2 of the applicant's guide for a more detailed list of these eligible recipients. In addition to being one of the eligible recipient types, every applicant must also select in the EOI whether they are either Option A, an owner or operator of mining, milling, and/or smelting assets in Canada, or Option B, a technology solutions developer or provider. Based on their selection, applicants will see different questions that fit their applicant category. And if an applicant classifies as Option B, then they must partner on their proposed project with an organization that classifies as Option A and apply their technology to their partner's assets. This partnership will ensure that funding is directed towards demonstration projects that take place in operational settings and can provide real-world data on their effectiveness. This partnership must only be identified in the partner section of the expression of interest. If the applicant is invited to submit a full project proposal, a letter of contribution from their partner will be required in order to remain eligible. On the contrary, applicants that classify as Option A are not required to have a partnership with an organization that classifies as Option B. However, for both applicant categories, other partnerships that are key to successfully implementing the project should be included and will be evaluated. We will now look at the core project eligibility criteria for this call. Beginning on the left-hand column of this slide, eligible projects are required to demonstrate how they will reduce energy-related greenhouse gas emissions through one of the three technology pathways, which includes mobile equipment, stationary combustion, or energy efficiency. Section 3 of the applicant's guide includes a non-exhaustive reference table of potential in-scope and out-of-scope project examples for this call. Given that the focus of this call is on demonstration projects, proposed projects must start at a technology readiness level, or TRL, of 6 to 8. Although there is some judgment required when assessing TRL levels, please ensure that your project's starting TRL falls within this range and refer to Section 13 of the applicant's guide for definitions of different TRLs. Projects are permitted to be implemented throughout the mining lifecycle, which includes exploration, development, operations, and closure. And finally, projects are required to demonstrate their technology at Canadian upstream to midstream operations for metals, minerals, industrial minerals, or metallurgical coal. This call allows for single-site and multi-site demonstration projects. Projects occurring in remote areas will be asked to indicate so. This is important because the program has a separate question for remote projects that will only appear if applicants have indicated they are occurring in a remote area. Note: for this program, remote area is defined as an area not currently connected to the North American electrical grid nor to the piped natural gas network. Moving to the right-hand column of this slide, ineligible projects include those that take place on thermal coal or oil sands mines. Indirect and energy avoidant technologies such as remote sensing, land use change improvements, and negative emissions projects are also ineligible for funding. Lastly, decarbonization technologies, including small modular reactors and carbon capture, utilization, and storage, are ineligible for funding. While both technologies have significant potential to decarbonize the mining sector, NRCan has recently supported them through different funding opportunities. As for call-specific and eligible expenditures, this call will not reimburse any expenses related to feasibility studies and front-end engineering and design studies. However, these costs are permitted to be included as part of the total project cost. Please refer to Section 3.1 and 5.2 of the applicant's guide for additional information on ineligible activities and expenditures. Finally, we'll briefly review the application process and call timelines. On screen, we have laid out the key points related to funding limits and reimbursement timelines for this call. Funding requests for demonstration projects must fall between $1 million and $5 million over a period of up to a maximum of 6 years, comprising up to 50% of total project cost. Note: for Indigenous applicants, the total contribution requested remains the same, but they may request up to 100% of total project cost. Minimum contribution, maximum contribution, and total cost contribution are strict criteria. Failure to adhere to the ranges will result in your project being screened out. Funding is available between fiscal year 2025 to 2026 and fiscal year 2030 to 2031. Please note that stacking of funding, which is the total government support for a project, will be supported up to a maximum of 100% of eligible expenditures. On screen is an illustration of the phases of the application process for this call with estimated dates for each phase. The call process begins with the expression of interest and ends with the signing of a contribution agreement. The most important date on this slide is the due date for your expression of interest. Applications are due January 27, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Only the applicants that were successful during the expression of interest phase will be invited to submit a full project proposal. The plan is to notify applicants who are selected for funding in summer 2025. If you have any questions about the call scope, application form, or process, please reach out to the call mailbox listed on screen. The link to the applicant portal is noted on screen and can also be accessed through the applicant guide. To start an application, you will be required to register or sign in using a GC key or sign in through your bank account. If you have questions specifically related to technical support for the applicant portal, please contact the OERD portal email address on this slide. Note that this mailbox is for issues related to the use of the portal only. Now, we will look at the expression of interest application form and process. In this section of the information session, we will only go over sections of the application form that you will be scored on. But please note the application form will require you confirm you understand call eligibility and input information about your project and organization. Moving on to evaluated questions. On screen, you can see the points allocated to each section of the expression of interest application form. As this is a competitive process, projects that best fit our criteria will be invited to proceed to submit a full project proposal. Therefore, when submitting your expression of interest, please ensure that your responses are direct, clear, and concise. Technology and innovation is allotted the most points in the scoring grid for this phase of the call. Clearly describe how the technology is innovative, novel, and has the potential to outperform the incumbent technology or other emerging solutions. Be sure to make specific reference to the technology pathway you selected and highlight how your project will advance from your starting TRL to the proposed end TRL. This section primarily evaluates overall project viability. Clearly describe project activities, timelines, deliverables, and milestones, and demonstrate how they are well positioned to advance the technology from its current TRL to the anticipated TRL at project completion. Please ensure that your project plan aligns with the funding request and total project cost. Please note that this section will be worth 15 points rather than 20 points for projects taking place in remote areas. This question is only applicable if you selected yes to your project taking place in a remote area. It will not appear on your form if you did not select this. For this call, a remote area is defined as an area not currently connected to the North American electrical grid nor to the piped natural gas network. In your response, please be sure to clearly outline your understanding of potential challenges and risks that are unique to remote projects and how your knowledge and experience will mitigate them. Your specific question will be different depending on your organization classification as either option A, an owner or operator of mining, milling, or smelting assets in Canada, or option B, a technology solutions developer or provider. Both questions will have an emphasis on the immediate next steps after the successful completion of the proposed project and the path and potential to scale up in the future. Asset owners will be asked to provide a realistic plan for future deployment of the technology across their operations and expected impact. Technology developers will be asked to clearly articulate the market potential of their technology and their plan to scale up and achieve broader market impact. Applicants will be asked to describe the knowledge products that will be produced as part of the project and how these products will be disseminated. Knowledge dissemination, including the sharing of project insights, successes, and barriers, is a key element of clean technology innovation. The project's ability to support the broader sector is an important element of all the projects that we support. Clearly articulate how results of the proposed project will be publicly disseminated and build capacity and expertise across the broader sector. Some examples of activities that could be included here are conference presentations, industry association meetings, or publicly accessible reports. Please note this list is not exhaustive and is meant to serve as examples. For the expression of interest, the program allows applicants to use their own methodologies, metrics, and assumptions for their greenhouse gas calculations. However, it is necessary that boundaries and assumptions are clearly defined, and any quantitative calculations can be easily assessed and are verifiable. Applicants will be evaluated on how the greenhouse gas reductions potential from their project is an improvement over the incumbent technology. Please note that all applicants invited to submit a full project proposal will be required to complete a detailed GHG impact template provided by the program. A priority of this call is to support projects that advance inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility, otherwise known as IDEA. Applicants will be expected to describe project-specific targets, not company-wide targets or initiatives, unless they are directly tied to the proposed project. Clearly articulate project-specific targets that were established to advance IDEA, anticipated benefits, how these outcomes will be tracked, and any internal and external reporting metrics to ensure accountability. All responses should be linked to the concepts of accessibility and participation as defined in the application form and section 3.2 of the applicant's guide. Applicants will be required to complete two separate tables, one to highlight key team members as part of the applicant details section, and one to highlight all contributing partner organizations in the partner section. Both tables will be evaluated. For team members, it is important to link each individual's experience and qualifications to the project activities and indicate how they will provide the necessary expertise to contribute to the success of the project. For partner organizations, ensure that you include the partner's contribution, whether financial or in kind, and how it will add value and contribute to the success of the project. If the exact amount is not confirmed at this stage, provide an estimate, and confirm the final amount in the FPP and letter of contribution. You'll be asked to specify if you're collaborating with any federal labs or receiving any other government funding. Please note that projects that are already receiving funding from other NRCan programs may be considered ineligible for this call. In the budget section, you'll see that some sections will auto-populate with the data you inputted on your partners and organizations' contributions to the project, but you'll still be required to manually input your funding request. Please contact the program mailbox on screen if you have any questions or are seeking clarity on eligibility criteria. Thank you for watching this information session, and we look forward to seeing your expression of interest by January 27th, 2025.